Ngayong New Year, new career ba ang gusto mo? Yan ang pag-uusapan ngayon ni Doc Ana sa unang episode ng Share Ko Lang This 2024. Kasama ang dating Kapuso reporter na si Steve Dailisan na ngayon ay piloto na.
Hello mga kapuso! Ako si Dr. Ana Tuazon, ang inyong kakwentuhan na psychologist sa Share Ko Lang. Tinanong namin kayo kung ano ang pumipigil sa inyo para magbagong career ngayong bagong taon. Pag-uusapan natin ang inyong mga shinare kasama ang dating GMA News reporter at ngayon ay isa ng piloto, si Steve Dailisan. Hello Steve!
Hi Doc Ana at sa lahat po ng mga kapuso natin.
So tell us a little bit kasi one, I'm curious, di ba? Yun na nga, you started from being a reporter in media, di ba? And then you chose a completely different career. So, paano nangyari yon? Ever since bata ka, actually gusto mo na maging piloto?
Parang mahirap po talagang pangarapin yon, Doc Ana, to be honest. And to begin with, parang yung 180 degrees na turn ko sa pag-shift ng career, it has never, parang, although I planned for it, pero it has never been my childhood dream kasi sobrang ayog po na talaga ng ng pangarapin yung pagiging piloto, especially from someone coming from an average family. So itong pangarap ko na pagiging piloto, although ako fascinated talaga ako sa mga flying objects, I really wanted, every time na nagko-cover ako noon, kinikilig ako tuwing sumasakay ako ng aeroplano. So ito po yung tingin ko produkto ng kilig na yon.
What was that first instance na na-realize mo, teka, hindi lang to interest, hobby, parang seryoso na to?
It was in 2017, Doc Ana. Sabi ko, kung hindi ko pa siya gagawin ngayon, I was really rethinking of my journey kasi nasa 10th year yata ako noon sa GMA as a broadcast journalist. So parang iniisip ko, ito na ba talaga yung career na kung saan ako tatanda or kung saan talaga ibubuhos ko lahat ng oras ko? Well, lahat ng pagod at puyat, worth it talaga as a broadcast journalist. Pero inisip ko, there's something more that I can do or I could do at that time. Kaya pinagplanuhan ko talaga noong 2017, it's now or never. Kung hindi ko siya gagawin ngayon, hindi ko na talaga ito magagawa. So in 2017, nagsulat ako sa cartolina, sabi ko, how to become an airline pilot. So meaning, isang taon ko siyang pinagplanuhan at saka pinag-ipunan before I finally decided to leave my job as a reporter and started my flight school training. Pero at the back of my mind, may takot din ako noon, Doc Ana, kasi sabi ko, paano na yung family ko? Kasi ako yung nagpo-provide para sa kanila. Dapat ready rin sila. So, some of the things na kinonsider ko talaga, actually, medyo marami-rami yung boxes na kinailangan kong i-tick para finally magawa ko yung career shift.
So, going for your dream, going for your passion, requires a lot of actually a lot of reasoning. Hindi lang siya puro emosyon, 'di ba? Gusto ko 'to, 'di ba? Sinasabi nila pag gusto mo kaya, hindi lang ganoon. Kailangan pag-isipan.
Yung flight school training ko, 17 months of non-stop. Kumbaga yung iba mga kasama ko sa flight school, parang pag nag-e-exam kasi may mga board exams din kami, Doc Ana, for every phase. Halimbawa yung private pilot, commercial pilot, hanggang sa Airbus rating. So may mga 10 to 12 subjects yon every phase that you need to take. So kung yung iba, isang subject, isang araw, or dalawang subject, ako ginagawa kong 4 para mabilis yung proseso ng training ko. Tapos I was flying 5 times a week. So talagang pahinga ko lang weekends. Ayan. So para mabilis din yung proseso, matapos ko siya ng mabilis. Kasi kung tatagal, mas lalong magiging mahal yung cost. So sabi ko, kailangan talaga magsakripisyo. Realistic ka rin dun sa mga goals na sineset mo or dun sa career shift na gusto mong gawin. Kasi in my case, halimbawa, natapos ko yung flight school training, thankfully, I was employed sa isang airline din. I was released sa line. I was flying as first officer at that time dun sa Airbus 320. And then the pandemic happened.
Speaking of which, kasi sabi mo nga, napaka-interesting to say the least ang timing ng iyong training kasi magsisimula ka na sana, 'di ba? To launch your pilot career, and then it was 2020 and the pandemic happened. The pandemic, however, was completely unexpected. Wala, I'm sure wala yan sa kartolina niya.
Wala sa kartolina
mo,
ba?
di ba?
Wala.
Siya sa, it was completely out of your control. How was that?
So I was flying to different destinations here and abroad. So parang sabi ko, na-enjoy ko na talaga yung pagiging piloto ko. First 3 months. And then, nangyari yung pandemic. I was retrenched dun sa first job ko as a pilot. And then, I was able to find a job. Kakasimula ko lang sa trabaho, Doc Ana. 17 days after I started my new job in August of 2020, I lost my dad naman. So sabi ko parang sobrang, alam mo yun, highs and lows and highs and lows talaga. And super lows yung mga, sabi ko parang, but you need to soldier on, di ba? Parang hirap at that time. Morning was so difficult. Parang tingin ko nga, I completely accepted losing my dad last year lang yata. So sabi ko parang, ang hirap ng proseso. So, sabi ko, basta Steve, every single day, ang ginagawa ko lang, I just need to survive.
There is something extra cruel when we lose someone during the early days of the pandemic, actually. Diba? Kasi yung protocols, you couldn't visit, you couldn't even hold a funeral.
And then,
so
nakita mo, body bag lang talaga. Ako nakita ko dad ko, body bag. And then the next thing na was yung urn. Yun na.
You made him a promise. Yeah. What was that promise?
Sabi ko sa kanya, parang when I was flying with my first airline, sabi ko sa kanya, ililipad ko siya dun sa destination niya, which is yung Palibo sa Aklan. Kasi that's his hometown. So sabi ko, ililipad kita doon, Dad. Sabi ko, and you'll hear me announce, yun nga, and I'll thank you in flight. So that was my dream. Sabi ko talaga, it didn't happen. So sabi ko, and then last year, when I was released, so sabi ko, Dad, ililipad kita ulit. Pero I was, meron kaming keepsake niya. So sabi ko, yun talaga. And then, funny thing, Doc, medyo lang to. Nung death anniversary niya, dun ako natapat na lumipad sa Kalibo at that time.
So, it's nice na even though, diba, in person, diba, circumstances prevented you from keeping that promise. Na kahit paano, the fact that you are actualizing your dream, di ba? Parang yun eh. So I'm curious, was there any part of you, meron ba, throughout sa maraming training na yun, tuwing nagbabayad ka ng tuition, tuwing nasa bus ka for hours, puyat, parang, bakit ko ba ito ginawa? Parang, bakit ba ako umalis? Meron ka bang mga ganong pagdududa or pag-iisip-isip?
There's this one time, Doc Ana, dun sa first training ko as an Airbus pilot, talagang yung luha ko pumatak dito sa kanan kasi parang nasa tamang pa ba ako? Nasa tamang career ba talaga ako? Sabi ko ganun. Because I was in my comfort zone during that time nung nasa media ako. And then talagang feeling ko nakapag-establish na rin ako ng career ko talaga sa media. But every time na nagkakaroon ako ng doubt, sinasabi ko parati sa sarili ko, Steve, you are so lucky, sabi ko, na you are given this opportunity to do the shift and to be able to do the things na gusto mo talagang gawin. So, huwag ka nang magbigay ng katwiran dyan or dahilan sa sarili mo. Just go for it.
So, tinanong namin ang mga kapuso, di ba? What they think about changing careers, di ba? Ano yung pumipigil sa kanila? And karamihan sa kanila, sabi nila, takot sila lumabas sa comfort zone. Yan ang sabi nila. So sabi ng isa nating kapuso, it is the fear of the unknown. Starting a new career often means stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing uncertainty. It's natural to feel anxious about the change, but remember that growth and new opportunities often come from taking risks. So, what is your relationship with your comfort zone? Ikaw ba yung type ng tao? Di ba some people like taking risks talaga? It's in their nature. Ikaw ba, are you the type who prefers, a comfort zone, some structure, some predictability, or was your personality inclined to take that risk?
Sa akin, both as a journalist and a pilot, calculated risks ako parati. So, I don't just take risks. Face value, parang, kaya ko yan. Hindi ako ganun. So, parang actually, as a pilot, medyo delikado yung ganung klase ng attitude. So, dapat, you take calculated risks. Meaning, dapat ready ka for any eventuality. Prepared ka. So, dapat may plan A, A to Z. Yun, ganun talaga siya. Sa amin din, as a journalist, di ba, kailangan, Doc Ana, when you are assigned to cover, say, for example, conflict or yung war, dapat alam mo kung saan ka pupunta, sino yung mga contacts mo dun sa area, ano gagawin mo kapag na-trap kayo, saan yung escape route ninyo, may mga ganun, di ba? So I think it's pretty much the same with career shifts. Dapat alam mo lang kung paano mo siya lulusutan. How are you gonna find a way to actualize your dream and at the same time, get out of your comfort zone. Kasi totoo yun, when you're in your comfort zone, chances are, I'm not saying all, may medyo siguro magiging stale or magiging stagnant din yung growth mo. And in our life, sabi nga nila, di ba, parang ako hindi naman ako yung you only live once type na person. Hindi naman ako na parang sobrang, okay, gagawin ko siya kasi gusto ko talaga siyang gawin. But gagawin ko siya kasi ito yung mga pwede kong ma-reap out of the risks that I will take. Ito yung pwede kong ito yung pwedeng experience na pwede kong mag-gain. Ganun. So dapat iisipin mo rin talaga siya. Paplaningin mo siya ng maigi. Otherwise, medyo mahihirapan ka talagang mag-navigate kung hindi mo siya napagplanuhan.
Para sa mga kapuso, no ba? Lahat naman tayo may comfort zone. Hindi naman masama necessarily na nagsistay tayo sa comfort zone natin. And siguro nga, sabi nga ni Steve, in terms for growth, to make sure you're growing, di ba? Palakihin natin pa konti-konti yung comfort zone. So maybe not 180 like Steve necessarily, di ba? Okay, done. Completely new industry. Completely new field. Maybe, like go for your dreams even a little bit, di ba? Parang pa konti-konti. Start out as a hobby, test the waters, di ba? See if it's something na nagpapakilig sa inyo, kagaya nung kay Steve. Yeah. Yung sa iba naman natin mga kapuso, ang concern nila is the financial safety or security. Yun, that's of course in career shifts, di ba? That's a big one. Especially if you come from a field na medyo stable, may salary, may tenure, di ba? Parang may benefits, may health insurance, di ba?
Very important.
Very important. So sabi na isa nating kapuso, financial stability while transitioning. Yun ang important. Doubt is always there. Yung isa nating kapuso, sabi niya, dependent family and everyday expenses. Yun daw nakapagpigil sa kanila. Madaling mag-take ng risk kapag wala ka masyadong kino-consider, especially if you have a fallback na pwedeng sumalo sa'yo if ever you fail. Nag-aalangan umalis sa present na trabaho, sabi naman ng isa nating kapuso, ayaw sumubok, baka di mag-work. Walang ipon, wala pang umpisa kapag nagkamali. Now, ano yung fallback mo? Did you think of a fallback? I'm sure nasa kartolina mo yan.
Totoo yan. Nung narinig ko nga yung comment na fallback, sabi ko parang yun kagad yung sa akin, light bulb moment sa akin. Kasi importante talaga na meron. Sabi ko, I can go back to doing corporate, I can go back to media. Sabi ko, pwede ko naman siyang gawin because it's, isang bagay na gustong-gusto ko rin ginagawa. So, sabi ko, importante rin sa atin na you have to realize dun sa mga magka-career shift na hindi ka naman mawawalan. So I think this is one thing na pwede kong ma-reassure sa inyo na hindi ka mawawalan. Of course, may risk, pero you're not losing everything. Meron at meron kang experience, meron at meron kang network, may mga contacts ka, may mga friends ka who helped you along the way during your journey in your previous career who will also be the same person who will help you. Kung naging mabuting ka sa kanila, kaibigan ka. So at that time, nangyari sa akin na nagkaroon din ng instability sa airline industry. At that time, people from GMA7 were messaging me, sabi nila, Steve, baka ganito, gusto mo yung ganyan. Ganon. So parang it's nice also to have that. Kasi ibig sabihin nun, it's a validation also na, you must have done something right during that time. So importante na if you are thinking about shifting careers, siguro dapat maayos din yung relationship mo with your present career para it will still be your fallback, whatever happens.
Yeah, parang you don't need to burn bridges just because you want to make new ones. Diba? Oo, importante yan. And I like what you said kasi it reminded me of yung just because you leave a job, no? You leave a job or you leave a field or career, it doesn't mean you're empty-handed. Diba? When you go to the next step or to the next career. So siguro, part ng pagre-reflect nila, kung susundin nila ang Steve method, the Cartolina method of, di ba, parang, di ba, deciding when to take that plunge is i-reflect mo, ano yung skills that I can still keep with me, di ba? Parang maybe we have to leave, the stapler behind on our desks when we leave. Pero there are certain skill sets, sabi mo nga, there are experiences, no, that you can take with you na applicable siya across fields. Now, yung iba naman natin mga kapuso, ang sabi nila, ang pumipigil sa kanila is lack of confidence, no? So, not so much, material things, external things. Sabi nung isa nating kapuso, and maybe you can say something about this, hindi ko alam paano mag-umpisa. Yan, I don't know where to start. Lahat ng job posting kailangan ng experience. So, mukhang may pinagdadaanan si kapuso. What can you say to people na, yeah, okay, I want it. I don't like the job I have now. I definitely want something else, but I don't know where to start.
So you need to, during your planning stage, dapat ma-realize mo when is your day one. Yun. So kailangan isipin mo sa sarili mo, how many years are you gonna do, sa atin kasi, di ba, parang when you reach 40 and 50 and 60, parang though in some cases, pwede pa naman, kaya pa mag-law ng iba, nakakapasa pa sa bar, di ba? So pero dito kasi depende pa rin talaga dun sa field mo. Gaano katagal mo ba ma-enjoy yung career shift na to if ginawa mo yung career shift? That's why it's important to identify your day one.
Parang doon sa isa, di ba, hindi niya alam saan magsisimula. First, know what you want. Kasi di ba sa interviews, it's so clear pag hindi nila alam, no, what they want, or hindi sila sure kung ito ba yung gusto nilang pasukin. Maybe it's not a particular job, no, or a particular career that you want. Pero for example, ayoko na ng 9 to 5. That's what I know, di ba? Or I want to do a job na related sa planes. Kung takot pa kayo, kung wala pa kayong paghuhugutan ng confidence, no? Build that confidence first before you maybe apply for a job. Research, do your research. Alamin nyo, paano ba nakapasok dyan? Baka meron kayong makausap na kaibigan ng kaibigan na nandun sa trabahong gusto nyo. And even if wala kayong experience, let's say you came from a completely different field, alam nyo na yung sinabi natin kanina, di ba? Yung mga binabaon nating skills from all the little jobs, all the little roles that we have, even if that role is a family role, di ba? Being a mother, a father, being a breadwinner, di ba? That can bring you skill sets na may papasok nyo sa job interview. So, you have to start with you na, you know what, kahit hindi ako yung pinaka-experience, I can be sure na ako may di ba, that I want this more than anyone else.
Totoo yan.
So, that's the sincere confidence. Hindi parang, ako yung pinakamagaling dito. That's probably not the confidence they're looking for, di ba? Pero dahil gusto ko to, pag-aaralan ko to, pagtsatsagaan ko to, sasakay ako ng bus from Vigan to Manila to do stints, di ba? Willing ako to do what it takes. And
commitment
wow,
talaga.
And that is impressive to people, no? To the interviewers. So, yan. Now, lastly, Steve, syempre, ano yung mga pumipigil sa kanila from switching careers? Some kapuso are saying, syempre, dahil masaya na sila sa current job. Di ba, okay na sila sa current job. There's no need to shift careers. Sabi ng isang kapuso, kontento na ako sa kung ano man ang trabaho ko ngayon kasi dito masaya at marami akong naging kaibigan. So, hindi rin naman, porque you see other people do it, di ba? That you have to. Kung masaya ka na, kontento ka na, okay rin. Now, Steve, I'm curious, is there anything you miss? Di ba? If let's say the opportunity never materialized.
So, yung pinaka nami-miss ko is yung mga katrabaho. So, every time na tatawagan ako sa mga katrabaho ko, okay, sige. Kasi, alam mo yun, you'll gain experience. That's one. New experiences. Tama yun. You'll gain new friends, etc. Pero it doesn't mean that you're not gonna look back. Yun. So, tingin ko yun yung isang bagay na mamimiss mo. And you should be open to yung career progression na parang ma-realize mo, you could be so much more. Parang ganon. You can still do more. Yan. Kung nakakatulong ka na dati, mas makakatulong ka ngayon. Parang ganun yung pwede mong maging mindset. And tama ka, Doc Ana, it doesn't necessarily, yung what happened to me may not be applicable to a lot of people also. But it can happen to people who also are dreaming of doing the career shift. So, talaga yan? Kanya-kanyang timing, huwag kayong magmadali, huwag niyong sabihin na, nagawa niya to in a span of 2 years. wala siyang may kanya-kanya naman tayong timeline, so don't get frustrated. And if you're happy where you are right now, then continue being happy. Wala namang masama doon. So siguro, dun, kung mamimiss mo man yung mga bagay na ginagawa mo noon, pwede mo pa rin naman siyang gawin. Just like what I'm doing now. So sabi ko talagang it's a blessing from God na to be able to do the things that you love and that you are most passionate about. It can happen to you.
So, para sa mga kapuso natin na parang, how do I know that it's going to be okay?
Sa akin, siguro one thing with me, buo talaga yung loob ko. So, when doing something this big, dapat you need to have a good, siguro, emotional support system. You need your family, your friends, your loved ones. Kailangan kumpleto sila sa likod mo. Otherwise, you won't be able to make it Kasi every time na merong doubt sa puso mo, you need also people to tell you na, Steve, you can do this. And then, ayun, I am just so lucky na I get to do both. Yung flying, I was able to marry my passion for journalism, for communications, and love for flying. So, and it's possible, yun naman yung gusto kong ma-feel din ng mga kapuso natin, especially at the start of the year when people are thinking about shifting careers and doing something else, that it's possible, but you need to invest a lot of hard work and planning, and alam mo yun, dapat buong-buo talaga yung sarili mo when you do the shift. Kasi mga kapuso natin, remember that you are limitless, but take calculated risks in life, and huwag kang matakot na gawin yun. Kasi I'm sure, sa akin, hindi ko pinangarap maging piloto. I never thought of being able to do my passion and my love. Pero, pwede naman siyang gawin. Basta you need to put your heart into it, and you need to do a lot of hard work. Dapat ready ka na.
Thank you so much, Steve, for sharing with us your story, your experience, no? And I'm sure maraming na-inspire. And I hope may mga nakakuha ng mga tips, no? Kasi hindi lang naman siya inspiring. It's also very practical and realistic, no? Parang it's a combination of both. I think calculated risk, no, is sort of that practical, di ba? Integration of that. Nako, maraming salamat, Steve. And I wish
Dapat.
safe flights and and a wonderful career, and I'm sure we'll still see you around here, diba? Whether as a guest or as colleagues and friends. Yan.
Yes,
so thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you po sa mga kapuso natin. As I always say, anytime para sa mga kapuso. Dapat.
Kung may gusto kayong pag-usapan, mag-iwan lang ng comment below or email us at sharekolang@gmanews.tv. We're also streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Thanks for tuning in.